Hello to all listeners. My name is Sophia Worrell, and I am an educator as well as an author. I have chosen to present the following education and awareness course in light of the coronavirus pandemic, which has been lethal to persons who not only have pre-existing conditions or are elderly, but has taken the lives of thousands of persons who are of African descent. The virus has uncovered something that needs to be tackled in a way that has never been done so before. The leaders in this nation of America has been forthcoming about the impact on states where the majority of persons of African descent live and how our present conditions invite the death toll numbers that we are experiencing, but have failed to address the reason behind why this is so. They are afraid to place the responsibility squarely on our shoulders. The reason that I have created this course is that I'm tired of other people being more aware and concerned for us than we are for ourselves. By now, we must acknowledge why we are more susceptible to disasters, diseases, and viruses. But just in case we are still at a loss, by the end of these 30 sessions, we will no longer be able to dismiss the reason, blame anyone for our failure to do anything, or make excuses for why we cannot do something tangible for our sake and the sake of our children. What I'm seeking is to eventually see communities, cities, islands, countries, and nations occupied by people of African descent have more citizens who are educated and productive. This is not the case now, as homes, communities, and nations show us as being riddled with poverty, crime, violence, abuse, and broken homes where the mother has to raise children alone and the father is useless in the lives of his children. The awareness section of this course will take us on a historical journey where I will dispel the lies and cloudy information that we have heard all of our lives. We have been fed partial information which has no proper basis for why it has been said and do not hold up under any kind of scrutiny. The education section of this course is where I will give extensive information supported by sources that are trustworthy and filled with facts that can be verified, instead of using blanket statements which just make an assertion but have no evidence behind it or justification for which it was made. The objective of this course that I'm presenting are for these videos to be on behalf of children of African descent who need parents to step up and give them a chance to fully participate in life. I am one of those children who was not properly prepared for life, and as a result, spent most of my adult life fighting for survival. The objective of this course is to help children of African descent have the chance to be positioned right. Throughout the course, I will cite many sources, but will use much of what I have learned from personal experiences, thousands of interviews with people, and the work I have done as a social worker with people with disabilities, survivors of domestic violence, people who were homeless as a result of drug and alcohol abuse, and my work with many community organizations and agencies here in America and back in my homeland Barbados and throughout the Caribbean. I will cite from my book, Manpower, and other materials that I have written, which are in the process of being published in a chain that I have coined the Power Series. I will lay emphasis on the fact that we of African descent are in the game of life and have no clue about what the rules are, and how the game is to be played. As far as foundation and framework for the future, and all of the sessions, I will present a foundation from which we will have a base to refer back, and will give a framework so that we will have a context to fill in the gaps. In terms of exercises and activities, I will invite you to participate in some exercises that will help you to think through what I'm saying. These activities are geared at allowing you to test any comments I make against the propaganda that is out there. Finally, please note that I could not have put all of this course together if I had not done whatever I'm recommending you to do, or prompting you to begin to do in your life. The reason that I have allotted this course for 30 days is because of the school of thought that cites something undertaken for at least 30 days will become a habit. It is evident that we of African descent need to change our conditions. No one would be addressing this issue if it was not something that needed to be attended to. We are in a stupor, and it's time that we become more conscious and focused about the state that we are in and what we need to do to change our circumstances. We have been allowed to fly under the radar for too long, and people are fed up with the blame game. This coronavirus pandemic has leveled the playing field, and we have to get up like everyone else and fix our mess. So why did this virus happen? Why people are asking why this happened, and we're taken off guard that this invisible virus shut down the entire world. We must take a step back and ask a question as well. Why did this happen and take so many lives of people who are of African descent? We really have to ask why we were the overwhelming majority of people who succumb to the virus. I believe the following reasons will help us to get to work and remedy our situation. 1, this is a wake-up call for us who are of African descent to start managing our own affairs. 2, this is a wake-up call for us of African descent to take care of our health and to watch our diet and make exercise a part of our daily lives. 3, this is a wake-up call for us of African descent to strive harder to get out of poverty, and the first place to start is in our broken lives, where we have too many frivolous relationships that lead nowhere. 4, this is a wake-up call for us of African descent to be more intentional about our education so that we can raise our standards of living. 5, this is a wake-up call for us of African descent to hold ourselves up to the fire and be better parents so that we can give our children a better quality of life. The entire world is feeling the crunch, and there is a lot of work to be done. We have to get up and start carrying our own weight, because the economy of the world has been badly hit, with not only lives being lost, but the livelihoods of many others have been taken away as well. There are many of us of African descent that are now being stereotyped with those who act barbaric and unintelligent. Their thug-like behavior is not what we want represented in our culture anymore. This is not God's way. This is not the American way. It is time to build a culture that is peaceful, loving, and kind. Thank you.